Follow me. Enter the multiverse of infinite possibilities, where the stories you thought you knew are nothing like you remember.
No treasure is worth as much as the good that can be done with it.
You morons grabbed the wrong kid.
Who are you? T'Challa. I'm a huge fan of your work.
I have a job for you.
What if T'Challa became a Star-Lord?
Yo, this is Big Lou here. Hey, I'm coming at you with a What If Episode 2 review. It's been a couple of days. The episode dropped on Wednesday. Here it is Friday. You know what? I had to see it again. I had to see it 2 more times, actually, besides that. Man, I tell you, Episode 2, What If T'Challa Becomes Star-Lord? You know, it explores that, idea, what would happen if instead of Peter Quill getting taken by the Ravagers, it was T'Challa, and we saw that T'Challa's Star-Lord and Peter Quill's Star-Lord were 2 entirely different entities. But I loved it. I loved to see Chadwick Boseman. This was his last, acting performance before he passed. Here I am. I'm wearing, Wakanda forever. He will always be in my heart and your hearts, I know. These episodes of What If, I'm not going to give you play-by-play action. You're getting that with a lot of the other reviews that are out there on YouTube and everything. I just wanted to give you my take, but I tell you, if you want to get an idea about, if you haven't seen any of the movies, before you start watching What If, you need to, especially for this, timeline branch, because we already know that What If is exploring different timelines here. Make sure you watch Black Panther, Infinity War, of course, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volumes 1 and 2. You know what? If you don't do that, you're not going to get an idea about what's going on. You're just not, This episode takes a look at, like I said, what if when they went to get Peter Quill, something happens and they pick up some other kid, and we found that out here really good. Instead of Yandu taking the job on his own, to pick up the right kid, he kind of outsourced it, which I thought was funny. He gave the job to the Ravagers, of course. Peter Quill, mind you, Peter Quill. But, instead, they pick up, a kid in a totally different country, and this kid winds up being T'Challa. I thought it was funny, So, when they picked up T'Challa, everything that's happened, with Black Panther and everything else where he first appeared, I guess that kind of went out the door, But when the Ravagers were getting, T'Challa, Peter Quill, it was funny because they said that they were getting what was it that the readings, the cosmic readings, were off the chart. So they thought they were in the right spot. They thought they were in the right spot. But it's funny, But it opens up, just like Guardians of the Galaxy, where you have Peter Quill, Star-Lord, on Morag, going to get the Power Stone, But we see it's not it's not Peter Quill. It's T'Challa. You know, I love this. I love this opening here. You know, and just to find out, you know, that unlike Peter Quill, here we have this version of Star-Lord is more like a Robin Hood type deal. You know, steal from the rich and give to the poor. But he, you know, he encounters Korath, just like, you know, in Guardians of the Galaxy. But it was so different. The interaction was so different because here, Korath, I mean, he was, you know, he's a big fan of Star-Lord because when, you know, T'Challa revealed himself, you know, Korath immediately, he knew who it was. He knew who it was, you know, and he's, you know, he sort of kind of begs to join the Ravagers, you know. But this is a totally different Ravagers team. Again, totally different from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. They're kind of like reformed, you know, they're, you know, T'Challa kind of put his influence on them as far as, hey, we need to do good instead of doing bad, you know, and it seems like it works. You know, they're not, you know, like we saw in the movies, they're thieves, they're bandits, they're smugglers, mercenaries, bounty hunters, and taking the stone instead of selling it, you know, like Peter tried to do in the first one. Star-Lord's, T'Challa's Star-Lord, his idea is they want to, you know, jumpstart a star that's been dying and save a planet, you know, which, hey, you know, I love that. I love that. You know, T'Challa's influence in this What If episode, I mean, it was off the charts. We have Thanos in there. You know, Thanos, I believe he's the owner of a bar. You know, and it's crazy because he's changed Thanos' mind, you know, about the way he was doing things, you know, snapping his fingers. Thanos did that. It was funny. Snapping his fingers, you know, and you know, killing half the population, of course, you know, population control and things of that nature. But he had, you know, he convinced them that there's more to it than just snapping his fingers and get rid of the population. It is, you know, there's different ways that he can do that, but achieve the end result. You know, same thing. We see Drax. Oh, I love it, Drax. And by the way, you know, these two characters, you know, Drax and Thanos, of course, are both played by their original characters, you know, Dave Bautista, you know, and Josh Brolin, you know, which I love that they brought several of them back here. But Drax is all excited because, you know, T'Challa, you know, saved his life. They saved his homeworld from the Kree, you know, so he's all happy about that and want to take a picture with Star-Lord. You know, we see a different take on Nebula. Oh my goodness, Karen Gillan. Oh, this version here, sexy, and we see Nebula without all the, you know, the implants, you know, that were given to her. I read somewhere. I read in one of the reviews that somebody thought of her as Jessica Rabbit. Remember her? But a blue version. And when I read that, I said, yes, that's exactly how she came across. You know, she comes and talks to Quill because they want to steal something, some kind of dust, some kind of cosmic dust that can terraform ecosystems. You know, to me, they reminded me of the Genesis Project. Remember from Star Trek? You know, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, the Genesis Project. But what T'Challa sees in that is he can use it to hey, help the galaxy, get rid of hunger. People won't starve no more. So, hey, he's all in. But the thing about this is they got to steal it from the collector. And it's funny how roles have changed here, because in this, the collector is the number one bad guy. He is the he's the crime lord, the crime boss, and everything. Thanos isn't anymore. Thanos is a good guy pretty much now. The collector took his spot and everything, and of course, Benicio del Toro played the collector again here. Loved it. So Nebula and T'Challa, come up with some plan to steal that dust, from nowhere, of course. But at the same time, that the collector stepped into Thanos' role, we got to remember that, everybody that was associated with Thanos kind of jumped ship and are over there now. So, you have the Black Order, of course, and they are all working for the collector now. You get Emily Mall, you got, Proxima Midnight, Corvus Glaive, and they're working for him now. So, oh my goodness, it just gets better. It's nonstop action. It's nonstop, man. Jeffrey Wright again, plays the narrator, of course, the Watcher. Loved him. Michael Rooker back as Yondu. The German Hans, Hussein is Korath. Chris Sullivan's back as Taserface. We already talked about Nebula. We talked about Thanos. Howard the Duck. We see, when T'Challa goes, to the collector's place, and of course they're fighting and this and that. We see Howard the Duck. Oh, I'm still waiting, and I hope you are. I'm still waiting for a Howard the Duck animated series of something to come out. Come on, it's been long enough. The Nigeria is Okoye, even though she only had a short, little line. John Connery came back as T'Chaka. Angela Bassett is Ramonda. Who else we have? Kurt Russell towards the end, he made his appearance as Ego. Sean Gunn is Kraglin. And Tom Von Lawler is Ebony Maw. What was a shame here is that, Dave Bautista, for some reason, didn't come back, as Drax. So many different things online you read about why he didn't, whether, he wasn't contacted, he wasn't asked, but then you hear, the other side saying, oh, yeah, we did, we tried to reach out to him, but he didn't get back to us, or conflicts of interest, whatever it was, a big part like that, he should have, they should have tried their best to bring him back. I don't know. I just don't get it. I tell you, it was awesome to see how T'Challa's Star-Lord had, such an impact on the Ravagers, and in that whole timeline, in that universe as a whole. He wanted to travel, as a young kid before he was plucked, of course. He wanted to get out of there. He wanted to open up Wakanda. He wanted to see the world. And that's what he did. He was curious about things. So when he's plucked out there, he had his opportunity. He could have went back, but Yondu kind of said Wakanda wasn't there anymore. Which, we found out that wasn't true. The collector had a Wakandan ship there, which was space-worthy. So that kind of makes you wonder, with Wakanda's technology, did they create it all, or was a lot of it influenced by space? Hopefully we find out some more things, and what I really loved is T'Challa. Even though I love Peter Quill, um, he played Star-Lord in a better light, in a better way. I just love this version, and I'm gonna keep saying that I loved it. Um, there was a lot of funny interactions with him and the Ravagers and his family. Uh, Friends, there was lasting friendships. I mean, even when they were sitting at the bar, and Korath was talking about, all their adventures, and Thanos just shows up, and he joins right in. It was nice to see that, but it makes you wonder, since all that happened, again, what if, what happened with all the events of, the Infinity War and Endgame and all that stuff. We don't know. But Thanos had made it, that they kept running the joke on there about, Thanos, his plan of killing half the universe and everything like that. And they just kept running it. And it was just funny how they kept, something like that just kept you laughing. Again, Howard the Duck was awesome. And Seth Green, of course, played him. Oh, famously. I loved it. Again, Marvel, if you're listening, come on, let's get an animated series out of there. But I tell you, one of the best things that I enjoyed about this was the fight scene between the Collector and T'Challa. I mean, so many Easter eggs came out of there. We saw so many different things, how he, what happened in this timeline there. I mean, the whole thing with him, holding Hela's, headpiece from Thor Ragnarok. That was crazy. Then you've seen in his display there. I mean, he had Thor's hammer, Mjolnir. He had Cap's shield. I mean, he had so many other pieces back there. Makes you wonder, how did he get them all? How did he get them? I'd like to know. Did he wind up with the gauntlet? Don't know. But I tell you, for him to collect those mementos there, that was crazy. So I hope that the creators of What If get to give us an idea how he came about those, how the collector came about those. But as I said, throughout this whole fight, T'Challa comes across a Wakandan ship in his stash, and that's where he found out. Of course, Yondu lied to him. But it was nice how they had this so-called, this father-son type relationship. They have kind of, you could tell Yondu was kind of taken with T'Challa. They have a good heart-to-heart. Oh, and it's funny in this, Yondu, everybody's joking about this, but in this one, Yondu has all his teeth, whereas in Guardians of the Galaxy, you see him with gold fillings, gold teeth in there. What else? Oh man, just so much with this episode here. T'Challa winds up going home. He goes back to see the king, Baba. With the family, with the Ravagers. Yondu's asked, how did you come across, my son? And T'Challa steps in, tell him he was lost, and, Yondu found him. I like that. But throughout all this, it makes you wonder what happened to Peter Quill, because if you didn't have a thought about him or even thought, hey, what's going on with him here? something's wrong. I knew I did. But it was nice to see him. He was mopping, at that diner. And guess who walks in? Ego, played by Kurt Russell again. Again, I enjoyed it. Oh, man. This episode of What If was off the charts. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy where this series is going. Can't wait to see what the episode have in store. I believe that I read somewhere that this won't be the only time we'll see T'Challa. I guess he's got like 3 or 4 other appearances throughout the series. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Give us an idea. What's going on with the Collector? Because at the end, we see Karina. T'Challa gives her the Collector's gauntlet that controls, all the cages pretty much, and she lets it go. She opens his cage and releases everybody, and we see them going towards the Collector. But it'd be nice to see what's going on with the Ravagers, what's going on with the Kree and the Skrull, because they're mentioned in there. What's going on with, it'd be nice to hear about Nova and some other heroes, but it's just nice to know what happened with everybody else, in this, was Gamora. What happened with Gamora? Hey, what if? I'm just excited for the series. Couldn't wait for the series to come out. Hey, if you like this episode here, throw me a like, send me some comments, and subscribe. Again, I try to bring you something, from the hip, from the heart, try to give you something that's not scripted, and hopefully you'll like it. But again, this is Big Lou coming at you with this little review of What If Episode 2, and I'll see you next week. Peace.